All right, kindergarten, today we are going to be making our brown bear. And last time you were in art, we made these textured papers. On your brown paper, that's supposed to be fur, I have already traced some bear parts for you. So you have a head, a body, and then 4 legs. First step, you need to cut all of your pieces out. A really easy way to cut things is to first free them from your paper. So that means just kind of cut apart your pieces like this so that they're all free and they're not in one big piece anymore. So now that my pieces are all free from each other, then I can start cutting along the black line. I like to pretend my scissors are like a car and the black line is like a road. So I'm following along over the hills, on the straight roads, until my piece is all the way cut out. Okay, so now I've got all of my bear pieces cut out, and when you flip them over, then he has the fur on the other side. So it looks like he's a furry bear. We're gonna put these aside for a second. You should also have a blue piece of paper with your name on it and a green strip of paper on your table. Flip your blue paper so your name's on the back. Then take your green paper and we're gonna make something called fringe with our scissors. Fringe means you are cutting straight little lines. So my lines are about 2 fingers long, or maybe since you have small fingers, it might be 3. And then I'm gonna take my fingers and I'm gonna scrunch my paper so it looks like grass. Okay, and then glue bottle, make sure it's working, and glue it to your blue paper. So now I need to start gluing on my brown bear. So he's gonna kind of cover up my grass a little bit, but that's okay. First I'm gonna glue on the body. And then the legs that have a bump on them, so there's 2 kind of like skinnier legs and 2 legs that have a bigger bump. So the ones that have a bump, those legs go on the back because those are his back feet. So we're gonna lift up a little bit. Might need to glue it behind your bear a little bit. So lift it up, slip it under. And then this one goes in front. So it's like he's walking along. And then same thing with this one. So we have 1 in back and 1 in front. I'll lift up my paper, stick it in, smush it down. And this one we glue on top. Okay, and then last but not least is his bear head. So his head goes on this side because his feet are pointing that way. So we don't want to accidentally glue it on this way because he'd be backwards. And then I'm gonna flip my paper to the back and give it a really nice massage. Nice back rub. So once your bear is glued onto your background paper, we are going to use our orange texture paper that we made with our sponges to cut out some leaves that can go on the ground and falling in the sky. We're also going to use our oil pastels to draw on our bear's face. To make your leaves, take your scissors and you are going to cut your paper into some straight strips So we're gonna start at the bottom, and I'm going maybe about 3 or 4 fingers across. So you can see 3 or 4 fingers can fit in that space. So I'm gonna cut all the way up. And so I'm gonna do this for my whole entire paper. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 strips of paper. So you might have a little bit more than me or a little bit less than me, and that's okay. Now I'm gonna take my strips of paper, turn them the other way, and now I'm gonna cut these into little squares. So I'm gonna start at the side, cut it off, cut it off, cut it off. So now I have 4 squares. So I'm gonna do that to the rest of my strips of paper. Have some squares that are big and some that are small, and that is totally fine. They do not have to be all the same size. So now to make your leaves, there are a couple different ways you can do this. You could take your square and turn it to the side so it is now a diamond shape. So the points are on the top and the bottom. So I could make a curved leaf by curving my scissors, curve off one corner, and then curve off the other corner. Okay, so let me show you that one more time. So I've got my square, turn it to a diamond, start at the point, and I'm gonna curve my scissors to the other point, and do that on the same side. So curve my scissors all the way up to that point. Okay, so that is one way you could make a leaf. You could also cut triangles out of your square by cutting. So start at the corner, cut all the way to the other corner. And then I can cut that into a smaller triangle. So you could make leaves like this too, if this kind is too hard for you. So I'm gonna make some more leaves and then glue them to my paper. And I want it to look like the leaves are falling down from the sky too. So I'm gonna put some orange leaves falling down on my blue sky paper. Okay, so I did not use all of my squares, so you might use all your squares or you might have some left over. You just make as many fits onto your paper. So now I'm gonna use my liquid glue and I'm gonna start gluing my leaves on to my grass and around in my sky. And when I do my glue, I only need 2 little dots. So I have one on this side and one on this side. So that is plenty of glue for my paper. So let me show you again. I have 2 little dots. Flip my paper over and smooth out all of my papers and my glue. All right, so now everything should be really, really stuck on there. So now we get to make his little face. And if you want to add some details on his feet, maybe like some bear claws or some more fur texture on there, you can make whatever you want with your oil pastels. So the cool thing about oil pastel is they will draw right on top of our paint that we made last time. So whatever pastel you choose, it will work on our bear. So I'm just gonna draw his cute little bear face. So you can make your bear face however you would like. I'm gonna add some more fur to mine too. And then if you want to add some lines on your leaves, you could do that too if you want. So here I'm using some straight lines and some diagonal lines. If you want to do this, you can, or you could just leave them plain. All right, my friends, so when you are finished with your brown bear today, you can put it on the drying rack and then clean up your scraps, put your glue bottle and your scissors away, and we are finished for today.